afternoon and the evening. Now, government leaders, including President Ramaphosa, today condemning violence outside the Brackenfell High School in Cape Town. EFF protesters and parents clashing following claims of racism at the school. Reporter Ronald Masinda is back at the school with the latest. Some of the events then, Ronald. Good afternoon to you that happened at the school this morning.
Jeremy, good afternoon. Well, calm has been restored here in Brackenfell, with a majority of people who were here earlier on having left. Of course, the EFF has also been a no-show. We are also hearing reports that quite a number of their members went to the police station earlier, where they opened cases following yesterday's scuffle with some of the parents and residents of Brackenfell. Now, of course, there's been widespread condemnation, not only from civil society groups, but also politicians in South Africa. And one of them is Xolani Sotisha. We've also heard from him, a member of the ANC here in the Western Cape. This is what he had to say.
This is not about the EFF. The EFF, they've got their own program. We're not members of the EFF. To us, this is about a black person. It cannot be in 2020 you have a situation where a section of our community believes that there shouldn't be a movement of people. It was within the EFF's rights to come and protest peacefully here if they were not happy. What triggers us to be here is to see that a certain group of people think that they can see it fit for themselves to urinate on our democracy that we fought for. And we said, as African National Congress, we have a responsibility to remind those people that we are coming a long way as a country. It cannot be correct that all the gains that we've achieved as a country, we just take them to the drain now. It is correct that here in Cape Town, racism is rife. It is correct here in Cape Town, white supremacy is rife. So we are here to confront white supremacy head on.
Ronald, the Western Cape Premier was on the scene today. Kasatu also saying that the local administration must investigate other schools as racism in the province, they claim, is widespread.
Indeed, well, that's what Kasatu said, that racism is quite rife in Western Cape schools and that several other schools should be investigated. We're also hearing news from the ground here, Jeremy, that on the 8th of July, a group of students here at Brackenfell handed in a memorandum asking the principal to address the issues relating to race. They are yet to get any response regarding that. Of course, Debbie Schaefer, the MEC of the Western Cape Education Department, earlier on saying that investigations will be underway. But this is what Melvin de Bruin had to say from Kasatu earlier on.
As Kasatu, we are disappointed. We've seen the statement yesterday with regards to the lack of transformation at a particular school, and it's quite correct that since 1994 there's currently only two so-called coloured teachers. Are they saying that black and coloured teachers are not good enough to teach the kids in this particular area, and we are disappointed. We need transformation to the school as a matter of urgency. If you go across the province, especially in the previously white areas, though in those areas you'll see that majority of teachers are still white. I don't know what's the reason that they can't employ more black to transform those kind of schools. That's not the only school where we have the same problem.
Ronald Masinda reporting outside the Brackenfell High School in Cape Town. So ugly clashes outside the building in Cape Town. Earlier, confrontations outside a court in the Free State. We asked today, do both have common optics? On the one side, black South Africans, on the other side, white South Africans, in the middle, the SAPS. Are we seeing the rise of a new type of political expression? I want to put that to the South African Human Rights Commission and Advocate Andre Gaum, who joins us now. Advocate, good afternoon to you and welcome. When you see images such as the ones we've seen outside Brackenfell High School, what's going through your mind?
That is indeed a great concern to us, and in itself it is a human rights violation, the violence that has taken place there. But then also when you see it's actually white people and black people clashing, that is even of greater concern, and one need to ask ourselves, how far are we progressing with nation building and social cohesion if this is the kind of conflict that takes place. So it is of great concern, and the Commission also condemned yesterday the violence that took place. the problem is also that this kind of violence and protest also amounts to a violation of the right to a basic education of our learners who are preparing for the final examinations, as well as for them who are busy with the matric examination.
Advocate, can you try and answer the question that you've just posed? Do you think that we are starting to see a hardening of political division?
To me, it certainly appears to be the case. And if we look at the complaints that the Human Rights Commission received, it is also clear that a lot of those complaints deal with equality issues, deal with violations of the right to equality, hate speech, and so forth. And therefore, it's such a tragedy because schools are actually supposed to be the places where education also as far as these issues take place. Fortunately, we have visited the school this morning. We've had discussions with the principal and the SGB chair. It does appear that this school already in February last year has appointed and put together a diversity committee to deal with diversity issues. So there's at least that realization in the school. And it has also amended its code of conduct to make more provision for diversity. And the principal has agreed that the Human Rights Commission could also assist them as far as diversity and training of that nature is concerned. So we will most definitely be involved. We've opened up our own initiative investigation. We will look both at the allegations of unfair discrimination and try to get to the bottom of the facts as far as that is concerned, but also at the violence that has occurred there. And this is once again also an opportunity to remind South Africans that the right to protest action is a fundamental right, but it has to be exercised peacefully and unarmed. And it really begins to be a great problem when this when it emanates in a fashion where groups, and especially from different racial groups, are actually clashing as part of the protest action that is taking place.
Advocate, you talk about this diversity council at the school. That's a good thing. It's to be welcomed. But I wonder to myself how long it's going to take or what needs to happen to turn that realization of the problem, as you put it, into something which is more concrete, which is more sustainable, which is more committed.
As far as we are concerned, one of the starting points is that schools should make sure that their codes of conduct comply with the Bill of Rights and our Constitution. We've made that call. We've asked Provincial Department of Education to pay attention to that, as well as the National Department. And then secondly, it is indeed a good step if all schools could put in place diversity committees. If diversity and issues pertaining to social cohesion and nation building can really be top of the agenda in our schools, and not only a matter of a paper exercise or something like that, but really diversity becomes one of the issues that schools pay attention to and deal with, not only as part of the curriculum, but also in terms of their general business. In this regard, it is also a very good step forward that the curriculum, as far as life orientation is concerned, has been amended in the sense that new textbooks have been written also in collaboration with the Human Rights Commission that will be rolled out very soon, grades 3 to grade 12, in which human rights issues come into play very pertinently. So the textbook for life orientation is now written in a manner that takes account of human rights issues and Bill of Rights issues. And we feel and we believe that that will also contribute a lot. But schools should be the places where constitutional values, human rights values are really manifested, and where education takes the form of instilling these values.
And I'm going to thank you for joining us on Tuesday lunchtime.